to win this time?
2 endings are better than 1. Sometimes. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 alternate movie endings. For this list, we're choosing film endings that were actually shot, but then rejected for the final project for various reasons. Obviously, major spoilers lie ahead, so spoiler alert.
Mrs. Peacock was a man?
Number 10, Unlikely Hero, Rocky Balboa. For most films, it's a general rule that the protagonist emerges victorious for his efforts, especially since it's consistent with all the overcoming adversity themes of this boxing saga.
What's crazy about standing toe-to-toe saying, I am, you know?
But times have changed. And while it's rough to see Rocky lose his big fight because of ring rust, the theatrical defeat seen in Rocky Balboa was much more realistic and original.
It was to me, not to me!
This alternate ending, in which the tables have turned and Rocky is the champion, looks like a safety precaution for anyone too sensitive to handle a bittersweet conclusion.
Official scoring, we have a split decision.
Unlikely perhaps, but also probably more true to the series.
And still, Philadelphia's undisputed heavyweight champion, Rocky Balboa.
Number 9, The X Factor, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Many fans are split on which ending they prefer to this flick, the original or the theatrical version. And most debates cite the chemistry between Scott and Ramona as seen in the graphic novels Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is based on.
Oh my God.
In the original conclusion, Scott ends up with his first love instead of the woman he's been questing for. And while this makes sense as an insightful character revelation, it's a little too awkwardly executed. Director Edgar Wright has stated that he prefers the ending he delivered to the one in which Scott reunites with Knives, and test audiences also agreed. Number 8, Death and Dystopia, 28 Days Later.
He's not breathing.
This was apparently too sad and tragic to test audiences, especially for a post-apocalyptic zombie horror film.
Jim, breathe! Breathe! Come on, Jim. Breathe! Breathe!
When Jim dies on the operating table, Hannah and Selena arm themselves and courageously leave the hospital. The director was going for illusions of hope and empowerment, but preview audiences interpreted the footage as bleak because their survival didn't seem likely.
What are we gonna do now?
However, according to the DVD commentary, both the writer and director still preferred this scenario to Jim's survival. Number 7, Happily Ever After, Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
1997 came and went. Nothing much happened. Michael Jackson turned 40. There was no Judgment Day.
An ending scrapped because it was too happy, this wind-up also killed all hopes for Terminator sequels, with its scarless John Connor as a Senator Daddy, a smiling Sarah as a granny, and a world without Skynet.
John fights the war differently than it was foretold. Here, on the battlefield of the Senate, his weapons are common sense.
Though it's decades later and blue skies, green grass, and happy children surround her, Sarah still laments the dystopia that could have been.
But the dark future, which never came, still exists for me. And it always will, like the traces of a dream.
Test audiences hated it, but this alternate ending still shines for being interesting and detailed despite its faults.
The luxury of hope was given to me by the Terminator. because if a machine can learn the value of human life, maybe we can too.
Number 6. Don't Feed the Plants, Little Shop of Horrors.
Feed me!
This musical comedy lives up to its name by delivering horrors of epic and expansive proportions. But preview audiences didn't like the 23-minute original ending that featured its protagonists and townspeople dying.
They may offer you fortune and fame.
Darker and truer to the off-Broadway musical it was based on, the cutscenes of the Audrey 2 apocalypse show how power, greed, and the pressure of capitalism corrupt. But it was the reshoots that made the Hollywood happy ending we now know, that turned out to be the people's choice. Number 5. Cutting Room Floor, Paranormal Activity. Studio executives can be fickle, and that might be why the original ending of Katie getting shot at by police in this supernatural horror was rejected.
She's got a weapon. Put the knife down. Put down the knife down. Put down the knife down.
Its gorier alternative, her throat sliced to the camera, also saw its release only on home video formats. Instead, Paramount went for a horror movie staple that's tried and true, the jump scare of its character throwing bodies at the camera, her own included. More sequel options this way, after all.
Oh, that's great. I can make money with this.
Number 4. Making a Statement, First Blood.
Sometimes you get so mad you think you're going crazy.
Immediately following a passionate monologue about the horrors of war, Rambo makes it clear that he can't bear the psychological trauma of a veteran, begging his colonel to shoot him.
You owe me that.
When the request is denied, Rambo pulls the trigger himself and dies. It's an overload of tragedy and emotional impact, but an instant sequel killer. The suicide was nixed for a police arrest instead, and allowed First Blood to become the first of the Rambo series.
It's a long road when you're on your own, and it hurts when they tear your dreams apart.
Number 3. Self-sacrifice, the butterfly effect.
Anyone finds this, it means that my plan didn't work and I'm already dead.
There are 4 endings to this film, but it's the director's cut that is the most interesting and disturbing one. In a moment of futility, Ashton Kutcher's time-traveling character goes back to when he was in his mother's womb to take the opportunity to strangle himself to death with his umbilical cord.
You have no lifeline, no soul. You were never meant to be.
Choking himself.
No!
This sacrifice ensures happier lives for his loved ones, and indirectly addresses a plot point about his mother's recurring stillbirths.
Before you were born, I was pregnant 3 times, but they were all stillbirths. I've kind of thought of you as my miracle baby ever since.
Number 2. Slept in, Army of Darkness.
You know that story about how you could have been king? I think it's kind of cute.
Yeah.
The theatrical run of Army of Darkness featured Ash's antics and wisecracks in a shopping center after returning home safely from the Middle Ages.
Lady, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to leave the store.
Who the hell are you?
Name's Ash. Housewares.
But this darker ending, in which Ash overdoses on a sleeping potion and doses for 1 century too many, was included on the UK VHS release, as well as on later DVD releases. In it, our hero awakens to a post-apocalyptic wasteland and cries in despair before the credits roll.
Oh God! No! No! I slept too long!
However, the studio demanded a more positive conclusion, which prompted the changes and gave us the theatrical version of the ending we know today.
Hail to the king, baby.
Before we reveal our top pick, here are some honorable mentions.
I don't see him, man. Over there, look, right over there. Look. Oh, that guy. Yeah.
Claire. Alex was right. It did skip us. There was a design, and we beat it.
Number 1. Legendary, I Am Legend.
There are other survivors.
The alternate ending for this post-apocalyptic piece of sci-fi is slightly more faithful to the book it's based on, in the sense that it plays with the themes of Robert Neville being legendary. Instead of the other way round, it is he who is the actual abomination in a world occupied by the infected Darkseekers.
Sorry.
His failures at recognizing the intellect and emotion these things possess comes forward in full force for some much-needed depth and drama. And unlike the theatrical ending, he doesn't die.
Keep listening. You are not alone.
Do you agree with our list? Which alternate movie endings are your favorite?
As if we'd end the movie like that. Yeah.
For more top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.